profile because I guarantee you the pictures that you're choosing are fucking ugly. Like, let me just be blunt and honest with you. You are not choosing the right pictures. We'd love a good picture with your mom. We'd love a good picture with Grandma. Some friends. Yeah, I would love to know your interests. Like, at the end of the day, I want to know your interests. I want to know that you're sexy, that you know how to dress well. Like, I don't give a shit that you fish. That's great. I kind of assume that pretty much every Wisconsin man fishes and hunts. Like,
100%.
I mean,
they have nothing better to do.
Right.
But here's the deal. Like, okay, Maddie, Katie, and I are all in this book club, right, with other women. And our book this month is Why Men Love Bitches, right, by Sherry Agrove.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 out of 10 would recommend. She describes, you know, the way that men think and why they think the things that they do and why they think that women, they can walk all over and everything. And it describes how you can combat against that, right?
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend, but all I'm saying is you need to read it and you need to use the tips that she gives you.
Yes.
And you need to use those to your advantage in a relationship because otherwise your man will use his...
Where are you going with this?
All I know is you need to use the fucking shit that she says.
Yes. Basically, women are way too nice. Read that book. That book will open your third eye.
Maddie straight up, like, dragged me earlier today and just quoted that book.
Yeah, you know what?
As I mentioned earlier, I still am in the process of simping over a man. And
that's fine.
Maddie really just straight up, you know... This is why Maddie is the perfect person for this, because she will really just tell you like it is and won't sugarcoat anything. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it stings a little bit. Today it stung a little bit, but you know, she's never wrong and really just has great advice with that kind of stuff, especially simping.
Yeah, I'm probably too honest, but you know what? I like can't contain it in my body, and you know what?
She tries. She thinks about it for a second and then comes back.
That's the characteristics of a real woman, right? Like you need to fucking express yourself.
Wouldn't you rather know than me sit here and
I would rather know than you be quiet and you be faking shit in a relationship because you don't know what your woman's thinking.
Right.
Like people like Maddie and us, like we express our feelings right away.
Yeah,
so you can take them or leave them, and that's that. We move on to the next one.
Next caller.
Okay, so we may have already answered this one, but like, what are your do's and don'ts of like profiles? Do you think?
Okay.
I know you do not have your fucking ringer on right now.
I feel like it's
who the fuck are you texting?
It's my mens. But anyways, my Tinder mens. Since we're on this conversation. Katie's going to turn my shit on.
It's Michelle, everyone.
Okay.
Don't worry.
It's a woman. It's not
she has entered the chat.
Swings both ways? Wow.
I know. I might. I mean, I swing hard for my mans, but when my women, they respond on time, it almost gets us to that point, you know.
Do's and don'ts of profiles. Do you have some?
Okay, I do. Okay, my do's and don'ts. My do's are please post a picture that is not with a group of men where you're fucking flexing or you're not with some sort of animal, whether it's a fish or a fucking deer.
Dogs are fine.
Or whatever.
Dogs are good.
It's fine. Like, if you want to prove that you're manly and you fish or hunt, fine. But we don't want to just know that, right?
Please, one.
One, and like I said, better be a goddamn
in regular life.
hammerhead.
Because if we're about to swipe right and you're about to match with us, like, we don't want to just see you as a hunter or a fisher. We want to see you as a man, right? We want to see you as someone who can care for us.
Someone please respond and tell us what the difference is between a hunter and a man. Let us know.
I would love to know that. Please swipe up on this podcast if you know the difference. But honestly,
how are they gonna swipe up?
Yeah.
All I know is if I see more than one fishing or hunting picture, it's a laugh for me. It's quiet because that makes me think that that's all that they care about, and they really don't have time in the chat for me, and that's a big deal.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And definitely to add on a little bit, a picture with your grandma or your mom. You know, even sister gets a little dicey because you don't really be knowing.
Yeah, maybe it's a girlfriend. Yeah. I've had a couple of those where I'm like, geez, that ex-girlfriend made the profile.
Wait, you said do's and don'ts?
Yeah, do's and don'ts.
Absolutely do not post a picture with your ex-girlfriend with a cross on her face and say, this could be you.
That is literally the grossest shit.
Crickets.
I'm like, all of a sudden I don't want it to be me at all. In the slightest, I'd rather jump off the Empire State Building than that to be me.
I'm not against, like, someone not having a bio because I've never had a bio because I've never known what to put in there. That's a different...
I could tell you what to... I could come up with 10 right now.
But I'm not against that. I definitely think that you need to have, like, either your school or your work or at least something there, like, show
something
a little effort.
Something we can judge you based off of, right? Like, as a person, like, where are you going in life? This is what we look at.
Have your first picture be by yourself, if possible. Or
so
maybe
we
just
know who the fuck you are.
Maybe just one other person if you don't, don't want to have yourself be the center of it, which I don't know why the fuck it wouldn't be. It's your profile, not theirs. But have at least, like, 1 or 2 pictures of yourself. I think 4 pictures is a good minimum. I'm not sure, like, what you're capped at. I think it's, like, 6 or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of a lot. Clue. But
I wouldn't
you need to have at least 4 pictures. Otherwise, I'm immediately going to assume you're a catfish. If you're on Bumble, please, for the love of sweet baby Jesus, put your height on there.
Yes, we want to know. If you're in
Bumble, I'm just going to assume that you're
baby.
so short.
If you don't have your height on there, and also if you say that you're 5'10", or you say you're 6 foot, I'm going to automatically assume you're 5'10". So just be honest about it, because we're going to meet you at some point. Yeah. And I don't want to be lied to. If I'm entering the chat thinking you're 6 feet, and I meet you and you're really 5'9",
that's a big problem. And this is the thing about online dating, right? Like, we're trying to get the most information as we can about each other. And if you're on Tinder and you're not posting the most and you got 4 group pictures, how are we supposed to know who you are? Like, how are we supposed to move forward?
Correct.
If you got, 6 pictures and some of them are you, but you don't got your height, how are we supposed to know that? Like, group dating is supposed to be able to relieve as much as you know about each other without sharing the most that you would want to share in person. Yeah. But I feel like physically, you should be sharing your height, your likes, your dislikes, all the things that Tinder and Bumble offer you to share. And if you're choosing not to share them, I feel like that's a disadvantage to yourself, because women are going to
People are going to assume the worst.
They're going to assume the worst, and they're going to swipe left on you, even if they don't want to, because they don't know what you should be putting in your profile.
Can we just talk about the whole height topic, though? Because, this is my opinion. So I'm 5'8", which I don't think is tall. And if you think it's tall, like, I don't know, maybe...
For women, it's really not. I'm sure.
Get a fucking surgery, because 5'8" is not tall.
It's not.
And this is my thing. I've had guys be like, oh, you're too tall for me. I'm like, well, what are you, a fucking midget? Because
Maddie, don't even get me started.
I'm sorry, but, like, in my head, if you are going to be so petty as to height to stop you from talking to a woman or a guy, I think you need to hold women to the same standard. I mean, 6 feet is great, but, I mean, if you're 5'11", like, what am I going to do? Not talk to you? Like,
right.
I mean, honestly, if we're the same height, or you're slightly taller than me, you're slightly shorter than me, at the end of the day, does that matter? No.
Well, here's a fucking, this is for the chat. Are you ready? They say that men that say that they're 5'11" actually aren't 5'11", because if they were 5'11", they were rounded up 6 foot.
Speaking
of if you say you're 5'11", you're actually under 5'11". So this is for all the men who are listening to this podcast. If you're actually 5'11", fucking round up, or we think that you're not 5'11".
See, I've heard the opposite. I've heard if they put that they're 5'11" instead of 6 foot, that they're actually 5'11". And I'm 5'11", so like.
I don't know.
See, and this is hard because,
I'm just like, don't lie about your fucking height, because eventually we will meet in person, and then I'll know.
Right. Maddie, the queen of this podcast, and Katie, the guest, they're both 5'8", 5'11", whatever. They're both over the 5'6". I am not over the 5'6" mark, and it doesn't matter what height you are. We all still look for that height mark on our online dating sites, because we want to know,
is it
how tall are you?
Is it superficial?
Right.
Absolutely.
No, and I get that, because, like, I don't know, my mom said this to me, and hi, Mom, I know you're listening. I love
Tammy
you.
Girl.
Tammy, we love you.
A little shout out. We'll do a whole, I honestly am going to have my mom on the podcast, because she is iconic. So, basically, my mom said this to me, and this kind of, like, resonated with me and changed my whole opinion. So she's like, I was like, he's only like 5'10", and I was like, she was like, okay, and I was like, well, I don't know, like, well, then I can't, like, wear heels, like, I don't know, and I went through that, and she was like, okay, well, what's the, like, women alternative? And I was like, well, obviously, like, weight, like, guys, like, I've had guys ask me, like, how much you weigh, and you're, like, so appalled. Yeah, it's so trashy.
Someone asked you that before?
Yes! Oh my God.
So that's a whole no.
They're like, how much do you weigh? I'm like, oh, let me hop on the scale real quick. Like, okay.
That's so fucked up.
And then, no, but the point of the story is, so then they asked me that, and I was like, my mom was like, okay, well, how would you feel? Like, it's probably the same feeling. Like, I get it. It's not exactly the same feeling, because you can't change your height, whatever. But, like, think about that. That's the, like, female alternative. What if someone was like, I'm not going to talk to you because of your weight? Like, I'm not going to talk to you because of your height.
That's fucked up. That's the same thing for
So that's
men.
why I'm like, I don't think girls can sit here and preach this whole, like, if you're under 6 foot, I'm not going to talk to you.
Exactly.
Because
Because
I'm like, that's a load of shit.
Here's the deal. It all comes down to personality and motivation, right? We're all looking for somebody who can take us farther than we are. And we're all looking for somebody who has a personality to make us laugh. And who, completes us as a person. Like, we're all funny-ass people. That's why we're on this fucking podcast, right? So we're all looking for people who want to take us to the next level. And if you can't, it's a fucking next caller to you.
It's a fucking next caller, exactly.
What do you always say? What do we always chirp each other?
Yeah, if you can't chirp, chirping is huge with me. If I throw it at you, you better throw it back.
And that's like a throw, that's like a banter, right? Like,
yeah.
If you say, like, shut the fuck up, he better be able to say, like, shut the fuck up back.
Right.
Or it's not a banter. He's too scared.
Right.
Or he's too simping for you that he won't say anything to lose you.
Yeah.
But you need that in life because you're a strong bitch, right? And you're looking for somebody who can complete you. And if they don't, then it really is next caller.
Then it is literally next caller. So for me, like, going off what you're saying, I think for me the whole chirping thing is literally huge because I've gone on dates and the guys, I feel like entertainment. Like, I'm the one cracking the jokes. They find me so funny. They love my personality, but I'm like, I should be charging you a fee right now because
I will say
you are mayonnaise back to me.
On a first date, it can be kind of hard because a lot of the times on first dates, people are nervous. I always say if they don't do it by the second date, then no.
Usually for me, though, it takes an arm and a leg to get me on a first date. So if the first
true.
date is not immaculate, I will not be seeing you a second
No,
date.
that's 100%.
Katie is the CEO of first dates. So.
I mean, us as girls, right, like, I think all of us can attest, like, we have men either in our Tinder or our Bumble or whatever, whether they're good or not, like, we have men that are simping, right? Who's worth it? I feel like that's where the question becomes, like, who is worthy of your time? Who is worthy of your simping? Who is worthy of your attention and your, who can banter back and forth and who can give you that relationship status that you want? And that's the whole point of, these relationship dating sites, and it's finding who you want to be with. But how are you supposed to know that when these men are posting things that are, illiterate to who they are?
How do you get to the first date if you can't get past the profile?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's why, like, if you are a guy and you know me, even if we talked in high school or whatever and you're listening to this, like, please hit me up. I will redo your profile and have you on the podcast, or I'll just redo it. Just send me pictures and I will tell you.
Yes.
Because
she'll charge a small fee. But.
No.
As a momager, we would love to have you on the podcast and redo your shit just so you can get a woman
I would love to, because
you.
I truly think that guys choose the wrong pictures and they send the wrong signals.
They do.
They think what girls want and what they actually look for are different things. And maybe I'm flat wrong and you will never get a match after I redo your profile. But I will buy you a drink if after I redo your profile, you do not see more matches.
Well, that's the thing is, guys, I think they look for everything physical, right? Yes, we love your physical body. You work out every day, right? We love those pictures, but we also look for, as a woman, we look for personality.
Right.
We look for someone who can complete us as a person. We look for somebody who we can banter with back and forth. Like,
if every single one of your pictures is a picture of you at the gym, like, congrats.
We don't vibe with that. We love the body, yet we have nothing to say about that.
Hedonistic message.
One body picture at the gym is fine, whatever, but you need to have some variety in your profile. Like, we don't just vibe with the gym.
Yeah,
where's the flavor?
As Katie says, we need the flavor.
It's actually from Matt.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Okay, let's give credit where credit is due. Okay, my next question for you guys is, I will read them as well. Read some of your weirdest Tinder messages, because I get some of them and I'm like, sir.
Oh, honey, I have plenty. Let me pull it up.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I deleted my Tinder, but I have some committed to memory because they were just that fucking weird. So I could just... Maddie's making a face already.
Okay, my favorite is the Tinder messages where they think it's going to be some hot pickup line and it's not. And I'm like, ooh,
it
cringe.
Just ain't it, sis.
It's just not it.
They think that it's going to be so loud in the chat. Like, I'm sorry, but the hey, it's quiet. The what's good, it's quiet. Like... Say something that interacts with my profile or is meaningful to me. Otherwise, I'm just going to think that you're going through and saying that to 50 women.
Once coronavirus really just, hit the fan, Tinder also hit the fan, because I cannot tell you, if I had $1 for every time someone said, if coronavirus doesn't take you out, can I?
Yeah.
Can't spell quarantine without URAQT.
Here's an example.
I could literally pay for college. All of it.
This is from Justin on July 12th. Justin, if you're listening to this, here's your shout out.
Get your shit together.
He said, "Are you Kendrick Lamar's album? Cause damn," in all caps.
That's just really upsetting.
I love that.
I mean, if you're really gonna do Kendrick Lamar like that, you better be offering something, because I really do love his albums. And if you're gonna reference that in your Tinder fucking line, you better be able to fucking match that energy.